This podcast is scheduled for one fall.
Whoa, who let you out of the basement? Let me do this. This podcast is scheduled for one fall, and I'm still not reading any of this other crap you wrote, so just click your buttons and start the show.
Hello, people, and thank you for joining us today on the Gimmick Table. I'm your host, Matt. Across from me, the Pumbaa to my Timon. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Bats.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Yeah, the lion sleeps until an overzealous dentist shoots it in the face while flashing it with high beams.
Yeah, don't hunt lions.
Yeah, that's just terrible. And guys, momentarily we're going to be joined by Victor Andrews. Worst segue ever. Before we do though, once again we want to mention the Making Towns Classic coming to Nashville, Tennessee on May 12th, featuring 16 of the best women in professional wrestling today. You're going to get 2 shows all in one night with one winner. And prices for these shows with this level of talent are a steal for any fan. You're going to get front row for $45 both shows. And they're very close to being sold out. They might even be sold out by the time that this airs. Second row are $35 for both shows. $25 for third row. And general admission is $20 for both shows. And you can get your tickets today through PayPal at mikehales57@gmail.com, or for more information, contact them on Facebook by searching the Making Towns Classic or on Twitter at the MT Classic. Bats, it's time to get to our guest today. Are you ready, Bats?
Yeah.
All right, it's time for another Gimmick Table Rewind today, guys. Everybody, please join us.
Rewind.
Please join us in welcoming back to the Gimmick Table. He is Victor Andrews. How goes it today, Victor?
Oh, man, brother, it's going good. I'm feeling good this evening. I'm glad to be back on the Gimmick Table and appreciate you guys having me back. How are you guys feeling?
Great, man. We're glad to have you back.
Yeah, I'm doing great myself. Good to be back. Good to be recording once again. Glad we could do something with one of our original guests from our launch almost 9 months ago.
One of the OGs.
Has it been 9 months?
Almost 9 months, because that would have been July, and we're about 3 months away from July. So do the math, add a 2.
Wow, good job.
Yeah, I took some of Joe Rogan.
Man. Well, congratulations, guys, for pushing it this long.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of guys have gave up by now. So congratulations. I'm very proud of you guys.
thank you. It's been going well. We've been having a lot of fun. What was I took some Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain today. I don't remember. Oh, my math.
That's a weird phrase.
Well,
It's really weird.
yeah, that was kind of weird. But Joe Rogan sponsors the company on it. I had some Alpha Brain laying around. Took it, so my math skills are on point today. I'm not even joking. There's one left in the medicine cabinet, Bats, if you want to.
Is this like legal Adderall?
I think it is. It increases your memory, apparently. I remember that we recorded 9 months ago with Victor.
I remembered that too. I didn't take any Joe Rogan's Alpha Brain.
Now, another thing, Victor, is we finally, after 40 odd weeks or so, returned to our original studio. And you are actually going to have our episode recorded in our original studio. Do you recall when we had the technical difficulties? We were having trouble hearing you last time.
Yes. We went through so many different avenues of trying to get this all going.
And I said that I had to reset the router.
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't reset the router, Victor. I moved the entire studio.
We moved everything downstairs so we could hardwire the internet to the computer.
But see, this was our launch, and I didn't want to look like a complete ass who didn't know what he was doing. So I was like, we got to reset the router, Victor. So I just wanted to apologize because I felt bad all these weeks not being honest with you. Because what I've learned is after 40 weeks, I still have no idea what we're doing. So,
Hey, man, practice makes perfect. And after a while, I mean, it's 9 months in. You'll get it after a while.
Yeah, well,
we might, or we can at least fake it until people stop listening.
30 years into life, and I haven't got that down yet. So.
No, give yourself some credit. You're better than that. All right, everybody give Bats some love out on Twitter and tell him how wonderful and great he is.
When I get none, I'm going to feel even worse.
Rob, you better do it. So that's what we've been up to. But outside of coming on the Gimmick Table 9 months ago, what have you been doing in the wrestling world?
Oh, man, I've just been doing everything I can. As you guys know, I worked NXT last year. Well, since then, I've worked for Raw, and SmackDown at least 2 times each, and I work for NXT again. So I'm pushing the envelope. I'm keeping my foot in there, keeping my name in everybody's mouth, making sure that Triple H sees me as much as possible, make sure I'm wearing the right things. Actually, you know what I did? Last time I went down there to Miami, and I did Orlando on New Year's Day, and I wore this nice suit. Now, I wear these suits from this company called Oppa Suits. Oh, and a guy by the name of Louis Williams, he gives me these Oppa Suits. I purchase them and I wear them. And it's a bad suit, man. I mean, it's a yellow jacket, it's green pants, it's a green tie, and I wear a white shirt, and some white shoes. Man, I stepped in the arena with that thing on. I made Triple H stop in his tracks and look at me like, I like those colors, brother. And I was like, well, thank you, sir. Thank you. He asked me what my name was, and then he went about his business. And I was like, yeah. That's the way you do things around here. That's how you do it the Victor Andrews way. You stand out so that way they know who you are and what you're all about.
Nice, and that's a great plug for your buddy's company there. Opposites, is that?
Yes, Opposites. And if you go to the networkking.world, www.thenetworkking.world, and you can see all the suits that he has out there. Man, it's some nice suits. I'm talking like it's all kinds of colors and different mismatches. And he got one suit. He got a Spider-Man suit. He got a Marvels collection. It's Spider-Man, Captain America. I mean, you guys got to go out there and check it out. I mean, they're affordable, too, and they fit so good.
So they're like custom tailored? You just give them your measurements?
No. You just tell them, what measure well, you pretty much almost custom tailored. I mean, you tell them what size you wear, and I'm telling you, these suits fit so good. And they're machine washable, too, which is a plus. You ain't got to go to the cleaners.
Yeah, I'll never forget the time I put dry clean only pants in the washing machine, and there was a giant tear down the seam. But it didn't tear till I got to work. It started as just a little hole. About 30 minutes into work, my britches were showing. But that's good that you have that mentality, that you kind of know that, even though you haven't had too much experience, with the WWE, that you have the ability almost to set your own impression with them by the way you dress, by the way that you speak with people. And that's very important because, like you said, you're going to stick out in people's mind, and that may mean when they see you or know that you're going to be performing, they're going to pay a little extra attention to you. They might call you back more often than they do other people, and it might open more doors for you.
Yeah, exactly. Cause the reason why I really did that, so when I did NXT last year, I had on a dark color suit, and I noticed that everybody had on a dark color suit. And so a month later, when I got called for Raw and SmackDown, I took a dark color suit, and I had a white suit. And I was like, well, I'm gonna take the white suit for SmackDown, and just to see, just to test the waters and see what happens. And so I went to Raw, and everybody had on a dark color suit. So it was like, everybody looked alike, so nobody really stood out. And so when I wore the white suit in SmackDown, man, you just thought that they knew who I was from a long time ago. I mean, I had people like Shane McMahon come up and talk to me and ask me what my suit was all about, and, and tell me they liked it. I had the Usos walk up to me and, just chit-chat with me. I mean, it made me stand out because everybody else had on dark color suits. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be my thing. This is going to be my stitch. I'm going to come out here with different color suits, and I'm just going to stand out. And then that's going to help me get my name out there and get people to recognize my face. I mean, I had people like Velveteen Dream tell me, hey, man, I remember you, and you're on that nice, yellow and green suit, and, you're looking good, and glad to see you back, and things like that. So, for everybody that's listening out there, you got to find a way to stand out, because everybody's going to look the same. Everybody's a wrestler. Everybody's an entertainer. Everybody's an actor. But what's going to make you stand out? What's going to make you different? And this is how you begin it. This is how you start it. You go out there and you look different. You wear something different colors than nobody else would wear, and that's how you do it.
Definitely. I mean, there's a lot of good, talented, workers out there, but they're very vanilla when it comes to who they are, both in the ring and maybe personality-wise, and that really if you step out of your comfort zone like you did, you went against the grain, what everybody else was wearing, and it paid off for you. They're going to remember you. And I mean, the Velveteen Dream knows when somebody looks good. Let's just be real. He's probably the best dresser in NXT. Those pants that he wore when he fought Aleister Black, the tribute to Rick Rude, still my favorite of all.
Yes, mine too. Man, those were crazy. And then those boxer shorts, a tribute to Mark Mero.
Yes.
Like, those were crazy. Like, he's yo, that dude's crazy. That dude's good. He's good.
He's great. I enjoy watching him tremendously. Everything NXT puts out, though, is wonderful to watch.
So you know what a colored suit kind of strikes me as is you're a businessman, but you're gonna get wild.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you eat the right amount of milk and the right kind of cookies, you definitely can get wild.
Well, I mean, you normally people who wear the suits, like you said, they're going to be dark suits or even a white suit, and that's just to look like business appropriate and really prim and proper and ready to do business. But then you add that color aspect to it, and you're like, I could get a little crazy. You better watch out.
Mm-hmm. And it shows that not only that I'm here to do business, I'm also here to stand out and look good on TV. I mean, because I've done modeling for years, I've done acting for years, and with that background, I mean, why wouldn't I use it? Why wouldn't I show that I can wear different things? And if the company needs somebody to go out there and model a certain style for a new sponsor, and everybody else is like, I don't think I wear that. Shoot, I wear it. Hand it over here. What size is it? Let me get it. I got you. I go out there and I do my thing, and then come back and then get my paycheck. I mean, that's all. That's really what it's all about for a lot of people is getting a paycheck, and sometimes you got to do things a little outside the box to get it. So let's get it.
I mean, it comes down to that old adage: the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I mean, you go for it and you'll get it.
Yeah, exactly.
And going back to just the whole idea that being vanilla and why you don't want to be vanilla, you have to build a brand, and kind of going outside of the box is how you truly build a brand and get people behind you, both from a fan perspective as well as obviously from promoters such as the WWE and whatnot. But outside of building that brand and kind of setting yourself apart from everybody else, how have you gone to develop, since we've last spoken, kind of your in-ring work and kind of grown that ability?
Well, I've definitely gone back to my MMA background and my boxing background, kind of emulating some of the things that I see on a product today. Because right now, if everybody's watching, you got people like Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, and you got Aleister Black, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. All these guys got these MMA backgrounds, and they utilize it in the ring, and this is something that I've always wanted to do, but I just never felt very comfortable doing it because I wanted to know how the fans would take it, and they didn't know how my opponents would be able to handle it and things like that. Because everybody knows it's a working relationship. It's a dance. So if you can't dance with your partner in the ring or your opponent in the ring to make the match look good and make it look sharp, then it's going to be trash, and all you're going to be known as is trash. And so I was always kind of hesitant to use those type of things, but now I'm seeing that if you do it right and you get in there and you let people know, look, this is my style and this is how it works. Can you flow with that? Can you actually gel with me and make things look good? And then once you get past that point, everything starts pulling together. So I'm using my MMA and my boxing background a little bit more. I'm doing things a little outside the box that I used to do. Not so much as a high flying, but still a little high flying here and there when it's needed. Yeah, I'm doing more things of a purpose reason rather than just to do it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of guys get out there and they do the dive because it looks cool. Well, what if I do a dive because that's my finisher? A lot of guys don't think about that. You can use a dive as a finisher. Go out there and you jump on somebody, and you throw them in the ring, pin them 1, 2, 3, and you go home. So I'm using things that people just don't think about and something outside of the box.
Right. Yeah. The more people that get comfortable, wrestling with the MMA style, the more opponents you'll have where you can unleash all of that MMA background.
Yeah, definitely. Because you look at it, this is where we at. This is the era that we're in right now. It's an MMA era. You give me guys like Matt Riddle, who is an MMA fighter who goes out there and he does all his MMA stuff. And, being able to go across seas pretty soon and traveling and learning those different styles, you got to be able to be versatile and put everything and make everything work and make it all make sense. And so that's where I'm at, just trying to bring everything into one. I'm like the Goku of wrestling. I'm working on my Ultra Instinct right now.
We've been doing so well avoiding any references of Dragon Ball Z, and you had to bring it back. Of course you did. Of course. I knew this was going to happen. It was destined.
You have to reference Dragon Ball Super. Why wouldn't we reference Dragon Ball? Wait, does somebody have a problem with Dragon Ball Z? What's going on?
I have no quarrels with Dragon Ball Z.
Matt just doesn't know anything about it.
I don't know anything about it, and I'm pretty sure when we first started this podcast...
Even though you watch a ton of anime now, I don't know why you haven't gone into Dragon Ball Z.
I watched Death Note and Attack on Titan.
No, you've been watching other anime that you told me to watch.
No?
I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, you just totally made that up just to defend
I'm pretty sure there
argument.
there was another thing you wanted me to watch on there. Maybe Rabbit wanted me to watch it.
But no, I have no quarrels with Dragon Ball Z, so before I get a ton of, hate for that, it just came up so much at the start of the show when we first launched that I couldn't escape it. And you brought it all back. It's like almost like I had a little PTSD there for a moment.
A lot of wrestlers are just fans of Dragon Ball Z, man.
Yeah,
I'm not faulting them for it. I just I knew it was going to happen during this episode. I knew we talked about it on the first episode.
I mean, have you ever had a match where it just like flowed so well? You're like, I feel like I'm in Dragon Ball Z right now.
Actually, I have. These last couple of matches I had one with Sean Cruz at UPWA, and it was like, it's real. Ultra Instinct is a real thing. Like, you just allow your body to just do it naturally rather than forcing it, and allowing the fans to just get emotionally invested in you naturally instead of forcing them to do it. Like the whole clapping the hands to make them clap their hands and get behind you. Like, if you just give them that right facial expression and those right movements and, those wow factors and those awe factors and things like that, and it just comes naturally, that's when you can reach your Ultra Instinct. And these last couple of matches I've had has been just that. I mean, like with Sean Cruz, with Bo Crockett. I had a tag team ladder match at RWC, a tag team tables match at RWC, which was crazy. I mean, the fans was like totally behind every last bit of it. In fact, the match I had with Bo Crockett a couple of weeks ago in Virginia, we actually did a spot where we swerved the entire arena. Even Tatanka, WWE legend Tatanka, was even swerved. And it was a spot where it was the finish. And I hit Bo Crockett with the spine buster, and I went up top for my big elbow drop, and I hit him with the elbow drop. And from hitting him with the elbow drop, he was able to crucifix pin me for the 1, 2, 3. And it swerved the entire... Tatanka came up to me and said, man, I did not see that coming. He said, I just knew that the height that you got with the elbow drop, that was it. That you won 1, 2, 3, and for him to crucifix pin you, and in 1, 2, 3, he's like, I've never seen that in my life. He said, I've been doing this for so many years, and I've never seen that happen. He said, man, you guys got me. Thank you very much. And I was like, yes, if I can swerve with WWE legend, I'm on the path to greatness.
Nice.
Definitely. And obviously that has to come from having more experience in the ring, but also your confidence growing. So what do you kind of give credit to causing your confidence to grow?
You're going to hate this answer, but I got to say it.
Is it us? I mean, it's okay.
Dragon Ball Z. Legit. It is. I mean, you have to watch it. You have to understand, and you have to watch it and understand why I'm saying this. Watching Goku grow during a fight, during this battle, during this tournament, and reaching new levels and new abilities and new strengths, and just, like I said, allowing his body to just do it naturally. And that's the mindset, and that's the mantra I have now for my life, period. Is allowing my body to do things naturally. Like, I step in the ring and I want to run and if I work out and I want to train and I go harder and harder as I can, and then I get tired or my body's just sore and things like that. And I'm like, man, if I could just get past this point, I feel like I could be so much more. But I realize if I don't force my body to do it and just naturally let it do it, then I can actually reach so much more. My cardio can be so much greater. My strength can be so much stronger, and it's so much into that. So I credit a lot of the stuff to, I credit it to Dragon Ball Z, to Goku, because reaching that Ultra Instinct is attainable.
It's like going Super Saiyan.
To real life. And if you just naturally let your body and your mind and your spirit just all connect and just go as one and just let everything just be loose and move naturally, I'm telling you, try it. I'm telling you, just go to the gym and run on the treadmill and be tired as you can be, and just take a moment and take a deep breath and allow your whole body to just calm itself down and do everything naturally. I'm guarantee you can be able to run at least 10, 15 more minutes.
I'm just going to pretend like that whole part didn't happen and you said we were your confidence booster. No, but I get what you're saying.
That works too.
It inspires you. I get it. But Obviously, getting to work, though, with, like, NXT, the WWE, Raw, SmackDown, that's got to make you feel so much more confident about what you're doing and where your career is going, that you've had those opportunities, you've been noticed.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, I can't take anything from WWE and my experiences there. Just being to be there. When I first did the first Raw and SmackDown, my first call out there, and stepping in the ring and doing tryout matches right before SmackDown happened, and having the entire SmackDown roster stand around the ring and watch me do what I watched them do on TV every single week. John Cena standing on the aisle and not talking to nobody and not doing nothing, not moving, and his head and his eyes fixated on everything that I'm doing in the ring was like such a big, huge experience for me. And I was like, at that moment, I was like, you know what? If I can be here for something this small, or to me, well, to them it's something so small, but for me it's something so big. But if I can be here and have this opportunity and have this experience, then why wouldn't I go out there and be better and be greater and have another experience and get to a point where I can get a contract and be signed and be able to not only have, eat food and sit at the catering table and things like that as an extra, but as a comrade, as a partner, as a friend, as somebody to work out with, somebody to train with, somebody that you share the road with and things like that for the WWE. And man, I mean, that's what I'm working towards right now, is being the person to get signed and go out there and show not just the world but the WWE of who I am and what I can do, and not just be somebody that, we just need the extra people and in the background or something like that. I mean, I did that in acting. I was an extra. I was in the background for One Tree Hill and Piranha 3D with David Hasselhoff and things like that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be extra. I want to be the talent. I want to be the superstar. And that's my goal, and that's what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna go review Piranha and see if I can spot you. I don't know anything about One Tree Hill. I've never seen an episode of that.
Really?
Yeah, I know that was even back in my time, like in high school. But I just was not into that show, I guess.
He guesses.
Truthfully, I wasn't either. I didn't get into it until I got called to be on the show, and I was like, I might want to watch this and see exactly what this is all about. So I don't blame you.
I mean, I did catch reruns of Dawson's Creek when it was on like TNT.
Okay, we are still a wrestling podcast, so we are not going to start talking about Dawson's
This is a rewind episode.
But we will never. I will. Still,
we're gonna rewind back to Dawson's Creek. All right, man. Dawson's Creek was a generational timepiece of a show that just changed and shaped the way that I don't know. But
wow, I thought we were about to have a therapy session.
I have a feeling 9 months from now we're gonna have PTSD of Dawson's Creek.
No, this is what I was actually gonna say. I will stand for Dragon Ball Z being talked about all you guys want, and I'll sit here like a clueless idiot. I'll bicker about it, but I am making the first official rule of the Gimmick Table. We're pulling a Vince McMahon here, and we're having our first banned word.
Slippery slope, man.
We're having our first banned word here on the Gimmick
Amendment.
Table. It's no, there's no First Amendment on the Gimmick Table. No mentioning Dawson's Creek.
Oh.
All right.
What about Seventh Heaven?
I'll get back to you. All right. Well, let me watch it again and see how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Jessica Biel.
All right. We'll think about it. All right.
Mr. Peanut Butter's ex-wife.
All right. Wrestling podcast. All right. Now, one thing I do remember, and also with my little bit of research I did prior to this episode, one thing you wanted to do is get more exposure on the independent circuit. Have you been able to get more bookings and new promotions and things like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of stretching out there. I've been to Wisconsin for the very first time a couple of months ago, and man, it was a great experience. I went out there and wrestled for Showtime Championship Wrestling, and Josh Kalisto, he runs a great program. His roster is so phenomenal. The production is so great. I mean, the hospitality is so good, and I enjoyed myself. And I just recently got my passport, so I'm getting ready to start talking to some companies internationally. And I've also started getting my license that is required in any state in the United States. So that way, not only for indie promotions or indie bookings, but if WWE says, hey, we need somebody that looks like me in freaking Oklahoma, and they send me an email, give me a call and say, hey, we know it's kind of far, but we're willing to pay for a plane ticket if you are licensed and you can make it. Yeah, I sure am. Because I tell people all the time, the worst excuse is to say I wasn't ready. And I'm not going to have anything that's going to not allow me to be ready. But I'm also, I just send out my license applications for Kentucky. I got a couple of bookings lined up with that. South Carolina, again, I'll start being able to go back out there a little bit more. Alabama a couple of months ago. And I'm going to start working out there a little bit more and going to Vegas next month for the very first time. So I'm excited about that. And just kind of branching out and trying to get into Texas and California and trying to do a little West Coast. But the main focus is internationally, going out to the UK, Japan, China, wherever anybody was willing to take me, it's where I'm willing to go.
All right, that's awesome. And you've really, it's only been 9 months, but you've really made that 9 months into what would take some people a few years to accomplish. You just put the pedal to the metal and you're not giving up. That's awesome.
I mean, when you get the taste of being in the WWE arena or ring and you're a talent and not just a fan with a ticket and things like that, it does something to you. Like, it really does something. It makes you realize, you can't take a moment like that for granted. You got to go out there and do everything you need to make sure that you're ready. And I was like, I'm going to go and get every license I need because I'm going to be ready. I'm going to get my passport because I'm going to be ready. I'm getting out of here. I'm not going to just be sitting here and be a fly-by-night, oh, that was a great experience that I had. It's something I can tell my grandkids when I get older. No, I'm going to be able to show my grandkids, yeah, Daddy was a WWE champion at one point. So, it's on and popping, and I'm taking everything that's out there for me to take.
Good for you, man. Now, wrestling wasn't the only path that was out there for you. You had a couple different ways you could have gone. Kind of go through what those other options that were presented to you were.
Okay, so I grew up in Brownsville. It's a projects in Brooklyn, and growing up there, we only had two options presented to us. You were either going to be a sanitation worker or a drug dealer. And that was it. It was, you go to school and you learn a trade, but, once you graduate school and things like that, going and making an application for housing or putting an application to pick up trash, and then that way you have benefits, or look to driving a MTA bus or driving a train and things like that. Like, these are the type of things that, and a lot of people that I grew up with and went to school with are still there doing these type of things. They're working for housing and clean up the grass and cutting grass and cleaning the buildings and all these different things. And there are some people who didn't have the fortunality to go out there and get steady jobs and have the benefits, who had to become drug dealers because of the environment that they're in, and just the opportunities wasn't there. And I'm blessed to be able to say that wrestling was my option. Wrestling was my third option. Wrestling saved me. Wrestling saved my life in so many different ways. Not only because I have my kids. My kids also saved my life in so many different ways, but wrestling has done that for me. It could have went so many different ways. I know guys who I grew up with who were shot and killed, being out in the streets. I have a friend who was just hanging out in the building and got shot from a stray bullet from somebody trying to shoot someone else, and my life could have went so many different ways. Being in those type of environments, I could have been homeless, and I've been to where I've lived in New York and I stayed in an apartment where there was no lights or no nothing because the person I was living with decided that he wasn't going to pay the bills anymore, and I would literally go to my job, which while I was working in the barbershop, I would go there, stay there all day and all night until all I had to do once I got home is go to sleep. I didn't need lights or anything like that. I would just go home, get in my bed, and go to sleep. So, it's so many different ways my life could have went, and wrestling is my sanctuary. It's what saved me from becoming something less than what I can be. And so, it's a big thing for me, and that's why it drives me so much about making it happen and making it into business, is because, I know where my life could have went. I know what I could have where I could have been. I could have been 6 foot under. I could have been in jail. I could have been working so many different sanitation jobs, smelling like garbage and not really being happy. It could have just been miserable and just walking around just angry all the time. But I have wrestling to be able to have that outlet, to enjoy myself, to live my life, supply a life for my kids and give them something to look for. My 2-year-old walks around with my championship belts, and he watches me on YouTube, and he carries around my pictures and things like that, and he's so happy to see that his father is out here doing something that's so great and so big in his eyes. And I love being able to give that to him and showing him that, at 2 years old now, he can see it at 2 years old that there's something so much greater than what the world is trying to give him or what the world is telling him that he should be. I lived in a project where they told us you should either be a sanitation worker or a drug dealer. And I became a professional wrestler. I've traveled the United States. I've worked with people who I watched on TV as a kid, sitting next to my mom. We used to steal cable from other people, find ways to zap the box so we can watch the pay-per-views. And I'm out here paying for my own cable, being on cable myself, working for these companies and working for these great wrestlers and these superstars that I grew up watching, sitting next to my mom who struggled all her life to make sure that we would have the opportunities to even watch TV, to be able to eat, to be able to have heat, to have clothes on our backs. And I'm out here and just doing things that I can and not saying I'm not a victim of my environment. I'm not just going to settle for what society or what this world is telling me what I should be. I'm out here doing something greater than any person could ever experience and anybody could ever think of. And I'm so grateful for being in this wrestling business. So that's my story. And if anybody's out there that's listening and has something similar or something going on where they feel like, life is such a struggle and they're not going to be able to make it, or they feel like, they just got to settle for what their environment is telling them to be, you can be so much more. You just got to go out there and get it. Go and grab it. It's out there. It's right there for you. You just got to be able to just say, you know what? I'm not going to settle. This is not going to be my life. You can't tell me that I can't be something greater. I could be president of the United States. Barack Obama was the very first black president of the United States, and he went out there and did his thing. Whether you liked him or not, he made history. He made a moment. He made you look up and say, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people can't sit around and say, look on TV and say, that's me. That's somebody that looks like me. I look at WWE. My son watch WWE, and he thinks I'm Kofi Kingston a lot of times. You know what? And I don't even correct him sometimes. He looks at it and he says, look, there's Daddy. I'm like, you know what? That is Daddy. But that's not Daddy in Kofi Kingston. That's what Daddy's going to be in 2 months from now, in 3 months from now, in a year, in 2 years from now. I'm 36 years old, and I'm busting my behind every single weekend to make sure that I make myself on that TV and be on everybody's coffee tables, on the magazines. I'll be on every newsstands. I'll be in every movie premiere and everything else, because I will be Mr. Everything, Victor Andrews. And if you doubt me, I guarantee you're going to bite your tongue, because I'm going to do it, and nobody's going to be able to stop me.
That's great, man. And it reminds me of a quote. One really is, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And a lot of people would have given up. A lot of people. It's a good quote, man. Don't look at it like that.
You posted it on Facebook today.
I think I did. Yeah, because it was that good of a.
Obsessed with the quote.
No,
had to work it into the episode.
I didn't even think about it until he went on his whole story. Until he brought up his story. This is what I get. We're trying to be meaningful, have a good conversation here, and the co-host has to ruin it.
Well, I got a quote for you. All
right, he's got his own quote already.
Strictly good around what I just talked about, and it's don't be anything. Don't just be anything. Be everything.
All right,
that's
a good one.
Is that your quote? Did you make that up?
If I go to Brady Quotes right now and type in Victor Andrews, is that going to come up?
Well, I haven't copyrighted it yet. I'm working on it.
Can you copyright? Can you copyright a quote?
I don't know.
Sure you can. You can't just go around and say you created Woo.
You know what? If you're a writer and your book is copyrighted, there's probably certain quotes in your book that people can't use.
Well, you couldn't plagiarize it.
Right, so that would be your quote because you copyrighted the book.
You probably can.
Yeah, that's how those people have quotes, man, is they got books.
Yeah, you got to write a book.
Got to copyright a book. Just put that as the only page in the book. Still copyrighted.
280 pages, and that's all it says.
Anytime anyone says that, they're plagiarizing you. Your entire book Like you plagiarized my whole novel.
Hey, you know what? It has so much meaning that I should just put it in the book and it just be one page. Don't just be anything, be everything. I mean, you can look at it any way you want, and then just turn a negative into a positive, turn a 0 into 100.
It's a good attitude to have, but I also got to ask then, what keeps you going? Because there's got to be moments where it gets tiresome and you do want to give up. So how do you continue to grow and grind to make sure that you can achieve your goals?
Just waking up in the mornings, truthfully. I mean, God blesses me with the opportunity to wake up and see my kids, and I gotta put a lot of credit to my 2-year-old. He wakes up every morning. This kid is so innocent. He is the most innocent child I've ever seen, and I tell him every day, son, make sure you keep your innocence, because he wakes up every morning smiling. It doesn't matter how his night ended or how he felt, if he felt bad, if he wake up and he's hungry, anything like that, he wakes up smiling. And he looks at me and he says, Daddy? And I say, yes. And he'll say, I woke up. And he's smiling and he's happy about that. And I'm like, you know what? That's the most innocent thing that I've ever seen. And yes, you should be happy. You should be glad that you woke up, because it's another day and another chance to do something that you never thought you could do before. And so looking at him and seeing him just waking up and just doing different things and learning so much, I'm like, I'm going to go out there and do everything I can to make sure that his life is easy. Not saying that he's not going to be able to do anything or I'm just going to give him everything, but it's going to be easy. It's going to be a path, a defined path for him. Whether he wants to go out there and be a wrestler, that's fine. Whether he wants to go out there and be a dancer, that's great, because I'm all about having your own identity. My daughter is a gymnast. I don't want my son being a gymnast. My oldest son is a basketball player. I don't want my youngest son to play basketball. I'm a professional wrestler. I've done boxing. I've done MMA. I don't want my son doing any of that. I want him to have his own identity, to go out there and be a dancer. If you want to do ballet, hey, I'll go out there and get some tights and go out there and practice with you, if that's what you want to do. If you want to go out there and sing, hey, let's go and find you some lessons. If you want to go and play an instrument, piano or guitar, let's do it. I want you to have your own identity. If you want to come back to wrestling, that's great. I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. But that is my motivation, is to make sure my kids have the best of everything, and that's why I go out there. And yeah, I'll be tired. My body be sore. These long drives, sometimes I got to do them by myself. Sometimes I have somebody riding with me. But you know what? Knowing that I can come home and look at my son and he smiles with the biggest smile that I've ever seen in my life, and the room just lights up from his presence. It's like, you know what? This is why I'm doing it. And I enjoy going out there and doing everything that I can. I mean, like I said, he walks around with my pictures and he looks at me and he says, Daddy, this is Victor Andrews. I'm like, yeah, that's Victor Andrews. And he looks at me and I look at him and I'm like, well, who am I? And he says, your daddy. Okay, that's fine. You have a Clark Kent Superman syndrome. That's cool. I can accept it. And sometimes he'll look at a picture and he'll see Coffee Kingston and he'll say New Day. And then he'll look in that same book and turn to a different page and say, this is Daddy. And then he'll look in that same book and turn to another page and say, that's Coffee Kingston. You know what? That's fine. If that's how you see it, son, that's how you see it. But the fact that he wakes up every morning with a smile, with the biggest smile I've ever seen in my life, and he tells me that he's happy because he woke up, or he's happy because he had a dream that he was in a wrestling ring, or he watched Daddy wrestle, or anything like that. That's what pushes me. That's what motivates me to go out there and do this every single week.
That's awesome. And I mean, I can't speak to having children, but I definitely got to say that if they go out and see you trying as hard as you are and can appreciate that, that's going to contribute to their own work ethic when it comes to finding their identity.
Definitely. I mean, he walks around with the belt and he picks up a little, microphone here at home and he does his promos. And he watches me so much, he knows my entrance way and how I walk out, going to the ring. He knows how to do my little poses, and he watches WWE, and he knows how to do Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor, and he knows how to chant like the New Day, and he knows how to do the Yes chant with Daniel Bryan, and he watches NXT, and he knows how to do the Undisputed Era, and his favorite wrestler is Kane, and he walks around with his gloves on and tells me he's Kane, and he gives me like the most, serious, mean monster face I've ever seen. And he walks around and he's so into it. I'm like, you know what, son? If this is what you love and this is what you want to see, and you love the fact that Daddy does it, I'm going to do it to the point where my body can't do it anymore, and it lets you and allow you to enjoy every single moment of it.
And for you, is that really where you see the hard work paying off? Is how it reflects in your children?
Yes, yes, and from the children, from the opportunities I get. I mean, 'cause I grew up without my father, and he played baseball. And like I said, I'm all about self-identity. I never wanted to play baseball because I didn't want to follow in his footsteps. Not saying that I don't want my son to follow my footsteps, but I want him to have his own identity. And just seeing him, just being so happy and being excited about the WWE and the brand and everything else, and having these opportunities and things like that, that's what pushes me so high and gets me so excited. Like, I'm sitting here watching SmackDown now as I'm talking to you guys, trying to catch up and make sure I know the brand, I know the product, I know what's going on and what's out there, and preparing for WrestleMania and getting ready for all these great emotional moments. And being able to sit back and watch Raw and listen to John Cena cut one of the most phenomenal promos I've ever seen, and listen to Paul Heyman and seeing the way he talks and different things like that. So yeah, definitely, some of my kids, they're my big motivators, and all these experiences, it makes me feel like, all of this is paying off.
And how does it feel to see that the hard road is paying off?
Oh man, it's like a breath of fresh air. It truly is. I mean, like I said, it's something that you have to experience. It's nothing that I can explain. Being in the WWE and being in that environment, stepping in that ring and being around all those different superstars, it's unexplainable. It's an unexplainable experience. And it's like I said, the environment, the culture, everybody is so humble and so welcoming, and they don't make you feel like you're out of place or you don't belong there, or you're just a mark or a fan or anything like that. Like, everybody's welcoming. They come over, they sit next to you, they talk to you, they see where you're from, what you're all about, how long you've been doing it, your different experiences. You've got kids, and like all these different people. Randy Orton sits and talks to you. Shane McMahon approaches you and holds conversation. Shinsuke Nakamura sat next to me, and it was like we was having brunch, just sitting there and just talking about how good that meal that we were eating and how everything tasted. It's so much that goes on, and I just love it, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, you just sit down with all those guys and have a meal.
Yeah, I mean, because and it used to be a myth where, in the indie scene, if you get called up, to do these different things with WWE, you never go in there and sit around catering. No, it's there. You go out there and you hang out and you just eat and you relax and you chill. I mean, you don't go out there and act a fool or nothing. You don't want to be on nobody's face and things like that, or be on your phone trying to take pictures and stuff like that. But, you just hang out and you just be professional, and that's what you're there for. And you just treat everyone like they're human beings, not like they're these big superstars where you got to just lose your mind and be like a super fan. I mean, everybody's going to be a super fan. I mean, it's undoubtedly. I mean, I walked up and shook hands with Triple H, and the kid in me was jumping around, running around from one room to the other in the house and getting yelled at by my mother for running around because I was so excited about shaking hands with Triple H. That was the kid in me. The adult in me and the professional in me on the outside was like, okay, cool. I just shook hands with Triple H. All right, that's cool. I'm going to go over here and grab me a burger and sit down at my table and just relax. And, and just sitting around with these different guys like, Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman and all these different guys and Rhino, and just hanging out with them, and everybody from 205 Live, ran the shows with Cedric Alexander for years and known him for so long, and watched his daughter grow up from when she was first born to now and things like that. So, man, it's such an experience, and I just love it. I love it. It's unexplainable. It's unbelievable.
Good for you, man. Now, obviously, you've progressed very far in your career, but if you could go back to yourself at the beginning, what advice would you give to yourself at the start of all this?
I would catch myself before the start. I would have started earlier. I feel like that would be so much further, and I've been so many different places. If I'd have started earlier, I started considerably late at the age of 29. But if I could catch myself right when I first started, I would tell myself, learn all you can, quick as you can, but pace yourself. Don't try to run out there and jump in everybody's ring and trying to do all these different things. Go out there and learn everything you can. Learn another language, because all these different things will benefit you in the long run. Everybody will push, they used to push Spanish on us in high school. Well, I don't even realize that I needed a lot of times when I wrestled against a lot of these luchadors from different countries and these different states and these different areas who only speak English. So I got to be able to communicate with them, not only in the ring, but, going over the matches in the back and things like that. Right now, I'm trying to learn Chinese because, right now the WWE's market is going towards China. So once I get back there for like NXT and anything, and they say, hey, we need you to work a match with one of our new recruits. He only speaks Chinese. Do you know any Mandarin? I want to be able to say, yeah, I do. And that gives me that little bit more step above everyone else. Just a little bit, a higher level than everyone else to say that, I have something to offer that everybody else doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, people out there, you'd be surprised how much just having like a basic understanding of a different language, like if you're trying to talk to somebody who only speaks that language, just a slight knowledge of it, like you can understand a full conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and like I said, it'll take you a long way, a very long way.
Or you could just do what I do and just shake your head in agreeance. Don't know what you're agreeing to, but you're agreeing. We're friends here.
And that's how you end up in the Hunger Games.
Hey. You gotta go somehow, right?
Or in a hospital with some of your organs missing.
Yeah, right?
As long as I get a check for them, we're good.
Well, if that doesn't do you much good if you're just like paste that they dumped down the sewer.
That's a very good point. That would be
Or end up in a room with chains like on you like Jigsaw.
That's a horrible way to end a life. But speaking of end of journeys, all right. When you hang up the boots, is there anything else you want to do?
Segues, man.
That was a great one.
Work on
that. Was a great one. End of life, end of journey, end of his professional wrestling journey.
No,
yeah,
that
was great.
End of life,
no.
and linking the end of life to his
right. I got a terrible way for your life to end. Speaking of ending of journeys, when it's all said and done for you, you hang up your boots. What kind of role do you want to have in wrestling?
Oh man, I want to be able to train. Well, right now I'm in college. So I'm in college right now to get a degree in sports medicine. So
nice.
Once it's time for me to hang with those boots, I got something to fall back on. And especially with the WWE, once I get there, whether they hire me as a sports medicine, athletic trainer or anything like that, cool. You got somebody that can actually help the guys with their injuries, but if you need someone to step in, I can step in and wrestle for them. And if I get in as a wrestler and I happen to get injured and I can't do it no more, guess what? I got that degree to fall back on so I can stick with the company. So, I got something extra. If not, it's always president of the United States, So if we go big.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a personal trainer. I know I think he's the athletic director, assistant AD at my college. He was the personal trainer, like team doctor for the New York Rangers there. He sat right in the locker room during every game, watched the game. He's he worked with all the New York Rangers for a bunch of years. He's still friends with some of them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you gotta have that extra fallback, and even when I go to the shows and I get called for like Raw and SmackDown and even NXT, I take my barber equipment because I cut hair and I go out there and let them know, look, I got my equipment. Anybody need a haircut and a shape up? Yo, come see me in the trainer's office. Extras room, and I got you, and I'll hook you up. Or if you want me to come to the main locker room, I come over there and I'll give you a little shape up, make you look all TV ready, and go out there and do your thing. So I got something to fall back on.
And if memory serves me correct, isn't that not how you also got a match for Ring of Honor? Was by cutting somebody's
exactly
hair?
How I got a match for Ring of Honor.
See, Joe Rogan's alpha brain.
I remembered it too.
Because I just reminded you.
As soon as he said barber, I was like, oh yeah, that's how you got your match. But you put your hand up in the air like, no, I'm saying this one.
And I still tell a lot of guys that now, and they're like, for real? And I'm like, yeah. And I see a lot of guys now are trying to learn different things. I know this one guy who goes out to different shows, because I even go to the indie shows, and I cut a lot of guys' hair, because that's my little extra money to make. And now there's another guy that cuts hair as well, and he's starting to take his equipment, and he's like, man, it's my way to make some extra dollars. I'm like, all right, well, as long as you don't try to do that mess on the same show that I'm on, you keep your teeth.
I got dibs.
Yeah.
But public service announcement, don't learn pole dancing as your extra talent. Probably not going to get you very far.
It depends on who you are, man.
Yeah.
Could get you through all kinds of doors.
That's something in the past. Let's move on.
You can do a full upside down 720?
Can you?
No.
I don't even know if that's a real thing. That's like a snowboarding move.
Oh, okay.
2 full spins.
You could do that on a pole, definitely.
Upside down, though?
Yeah.
You could do that?
No, definitely not. I don't have the upper body strength for that.
I think it's more like leg. You need. Like,
I don't have
strength
strength in general.
I don't know. I haven't.
This is getting a little crazy. So speaking of crazy, what's your
Just talking
craziest,
about strippers?
What's your craziest fan interaction of all time?
Craziest fan interaction? Oh man. Yeah, it's mostly on Facebook. A lot of the fans, when they see me in person, they're like starstruck. I don't know why, but they're starstruck and they intimidated to come and speak to me. But I think a lot of times what they do is they get home and they're like, oh man, it's something I could have said to him. I wish I could have said to him. And then they inbox me, and I have gotten some like the craziest inboxes, like, hey Victor, could you come to my school and like have lunch with me? And I think one kid was like, hey man, I think I would love to be able to get in the ring with you. And I'm like, oh, I don't think you want to do that. Like, it's just a fan, And they're giving guys and telling me that they feel like they could beat me, like if I'm a heel somewhere. And they're like, oh man, I think I could beat you. Right. You come to this show, I'm gonna step in the ring, I'm gonna beat you up. And I'm like,
sure,
I don't think you want to do that. I don't have money like that to pay for other people's hospital bills, so I don't think that's gonna work out too well for you. So let's stay in the seat. Yeah, let's do that.
Stay in your lane.
Nothing too crazy in person. Like I said, everybody just feels like I'm unapproachable or something. I don't know.
Have you ever you got kids that do they play Overwatch, the video game?
Nah. My son, my 2-year-old is on. He's hooked on Call of Duty.
Oh, crazy!
I rarely play that game around him, but he just saw the cover and he was like, Call of Duty. And I was like, well, first of all, how do you know how to read at 2 years old? And then second of all, how you know this game is Call of Duty? And so like he likes to sit and watch me play that. But
kids these
no, we're not on Overwatch yet.
Oh, well, you look like one of the characters, Lucio. But that's probably just because you rock the dreads and he's got dreads. But
okay.
I mean, if anybody else out there listening is going to say, oh yeah, no, he does. Like if you put on the glasses, like the weird sunglass shades and the headphones that Lucio is wearing, people would think you're like the real life Lucio.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look for a picture of him. I'm going to find these shades. I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to send it to you.
You need some like sweet rollerblades too. That's his key thing. You see rollerblades around. He's quick. He's got this like sonic gun. It's pretty sweet.
That should be easy. Yeah, I can do that. That should be easy.
Now, Victor, if anybody wants to up your craziest fan interaction, how do they get a hold of you on social media?
Well, the easiest way to connect to all my social media accounts, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, is to go to my website, www.thevictorandrews.com. You can see everything that there is for Mr. Everything Victor Andrews. If you want to come to a show, all the events are there. You can RSVP, and you can find out how to buy tickets. If you want to purchase T-shirts, all my pro wrestling T-shirts are up there as well. And then, if you want to just send me a message through my website, you can do that as well. So definitely check out the website. Again, www.thevictorandrews.com.
All right. When can we see you in the ring again?
April 28th. I will be in, what's the name of this town? Wilkesboro, North Carolina for Zone Sports Athletics. We're doing a benefit for a woman who's battling breast cancer, and we're putting on a benefit show for her.
Well, everybody in the area should definitely check that out. At least just, if not, to donate to the cause. Yeah, definitely. And just go to my website, and we got different things that we're putting together. I have a young kid at PWF who I'm looking to put together a something like a fundraiser thing for him. He's battling Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Damn. And it's something where, his muscles, battling against his body. And we're looking to do something for him. He's actually on the list for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and WWE is looking to do something for him. But I wanted to do something local and connect with this Muscular Dystrophy Association and see if we can get some donations or foundation running to kind of help find a cure for those different things. And so we're working on some different things. I'm trying to get out there and be more of a community public figure rather than just Mr. Everything, the wrestler. I'm really trying to give back to everyone out there who's battling some things. So keep up on my website and as I update it, you'll be able to see the different things that I'm doing. I mean, I gotta say, man, you really are Mr. Everything all the time. Well, you have to be. I mean, if you're not going to be it, leave it alone.
Yeah, Bats, leave it alone. No, that truly is awesome of you. Definitely keep us in the loop with that. And, if you got donations going out, I'm pretty sure we can scrounge some money up from the old Patreon to make a donation. I think that's acceptable, isn't it?
I think that's pretty much all. Yeah, that's pretty much all that money is good for. Since it's not very much. But
Yeah, I mean, we don't.
it'll go to a good cause at least.
We sponsor wrestling shows with it. I figure we can give a little money to help somebody out. So let us know.
I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys so much.
Anything to help, man. It was so awesome to have you back on the show, Victor. Awesome story, letting us know, how you got there, and just a fun time. But you had to bring up Dragon Ball Z, so you
Well, you brought up Dawson's Creek, so I think
you broke the rule, Victor. We didn't make a full episode. No, it's okay. I don't really mind Dawson's Creek. I'm actually gonna go watch the whole thing on the DVD.
No, you're gonna go play Fortnite.
That's right. I have to play. No, I'm watching Dawson's Creek. Sorry. Thank you once again, Victor. It's always a pleasure. We look forward to having you on again. Again, keep us in the loop about everything going on, and we'll definitely do anything we can to help you out, help promote anything that you have going on.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter so we can advertise it for you.
I definitely will, and I really appreciate it. And you guys have a great night, and keep doing everything you're doing. And please, don't wait another 9 months to figure out what's going on. If it's the router, reset the router. If you got to move the whole studio, move the whole studio.
Hey, I bought a nice Cat 7 LAN Ethernet cable. We're good. This is the crispest sounding episode I'd really say we've had in 40 weeks.
I mean, the phone connection is actually really...
It's been really flawless.
No lag at all.
None. It's great.
Well, good. I'm so glad. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very, very, very proud of you guys. I remember you guys from first starting off, you was telling me how much you was doing this and all these different things. I'm very proud of you guys for staying in there for so long, and I wish you so much success in years and years and years and decades to come.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. It means a lot.
We're going to try and start up at least one other podcast here. So we'll see how that goes. We'll let you know about it. I don't know if you listen to podcasts and stuff. It's not a wrestling one.
We're gonna discuss history in only a way that we can.
Yeah, I'll be listening to the Gimmick Table.
It's gonna be fun. Trust me, you might enjoy it. All right?
Hey, like you said, you never know when any type of knowledge is gonna come in handy.
Right. You can become a history buff by listening to us while you're on the road.
Even Dragon Ball Z knowledge.
Right?
You work on your history, I'll work on my Dragon Ball Z knowledge. You start a Dragon Ball Z podcast, I'll start the history podcast.
Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Z podcast. That's got to be something people would listen to.
You could teach me all about it. That's what we could do.
I think that
I would learn. I would have to learn a lot with you.
Yeah,
I'm not a hardcore.
Actually watch Dragon Ball Z, and I didn't even never know how big it is.
I've never seen an episode.
I mean, it's all right. So the only thing that's not intense about it is sometimes like a whole fight is like 7 episodes long.
Jeez.
Just because they're just looking at each other for like 10 minutes.
So big. The build-up is so big.
Right.
It grabs you, and you're invested in it.
Like there's so much. It's like it's like tantric anime.
Okay, I'm totally out now. I'm done. I'm going to bed. No, you had me sold. I was like,
no, you're just like the whole time. You're just like, oh, I want to see this fight. This is gonna be a wicked awesome fight, and you do that for like 7 episodes, and then, boom, huge fight. Oh, that was intense.
It better be worth it if I have to wait 7 episodes just to get basically.
Well, there's other fighting. Just it's cursory fighting.
All right, we'll try it. Whatever, Victor. Thank you once again. It's always a pleasure.
All right.
I apologize for my co-host.
I don't apologize for what.
We look forward to having you on in the future. Thank you once again.
Yes. Thank you. You guys have a good night.
All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. We're so glad to be back recording once again. Thank you to our guest today, Victor Andrews. Bats, that was a lot of fun.
Obviously, it's always fun.
Yeah, awe-inspiring story. That's all I'm going to say right there. Live your dreams, people. That's really all you got.
Be everything all the time.
And while you're living your dreams, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasting fix from, so we can live our dreams as well. And make sure to interact with us on social media. You can find us on Twitter at @gimmick_table. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Just search the Gimmick Table Wrestling Podcast. Don't forget to check out GimmickTablePod.com, Bats, for all your cover art, our interviews, and when we have contests. Win free stuff just for listening to the show. And guys, while you're supporting us, make sure you also support our friends at the Podcasting World Order. They're available on all major platforms, including iTunes and Google Play. We got the WNA podcast, the Wretched Wrestling podcast, Smart Spot podcast, Boar Meets World, and the Broadcast. Bats, which is your favorite out of all of them? What's your favorite to dabble in?
None of those.
All right. So, remember, I still love you guys. And thank you, everybody else, for listening to the show. Once again, we are glad to be back. Have a good week and be safe.
See ya.